What is poppin', people, and welcome back to another tattoo tips video. Now today's tattoo tips video is going to be on Greywash. So without further ado, let's roll that goddamn sexy B-roll. So guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here, please consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get right in to the video. Greywash. What is Greywash? So if you are a new artist, a very brief explanation of what Greywash is would be black pigment in varying degrees of black depending on the company. So each company does a different value of Greywash. Some lights will be darker than other lights, and some lights will be lighter than other lights, and it goes continuously up the scale. Now Greywash can come in a pre-mixed Greywash, which is generally what you get from companies, but you can also make your own Greywash by just taking a black, say silverback for example. I say silverback because that's what I use. You could take their Insta Black, their stupid black, their black 13, and you could have a drop system in place. Say you have 4 caps, 1 drop in one, 5 drops, 7 drops, anything really. It could be absolutely anything. It is all personal preference to you and how you like your washes. Now there is some negatives to pre-made and some negatives to a drop system. The negative to a pre-made obviously is the fact that they are pre-made, okay, they are set. So you may actually find a company and you may try their Greywash, but really it's not, you know, it may be a little bit too light for you, it may be a little bit too dark for you, but it's pre-made, okay. There is things that you can do to counteract it if you wanted, but generally that's a negative. A negative for a drop system would be it's inconsistent, okay, the amount of drops. One time you might put a smaller drop in than a bigger drop, or you might be using a different size ink cap than you did last time, so it's a little bit inconsistent for me. So now we know what Greywash is, let's talk about it, shall we? So Greywash is all about finding what works for you, and you only. It doesn't matter what your best friend artist is doing, or some artist that you look up to in the industry and what they're doing. You can take that as a standard by all means, don't get me wrong, but generally it is for you and what works for you. However, I do have a few rules when it comes to Greywash that I myself like to live by. So the rules when I'm picking my black and grey that I generally like to live by is when I'm looking at a light tone, is that light tone going to still be there once the tattoo is healed? Now during the tattoo process, yes, it may be dark, but once it's healed you lose roughly around about 30%. So is that still going to be visible? So I definitely use that as a rule of thumb for my lights. And for my darks, I use the rule of thumb of could I blend off of black with this dark with a nice smooth transition from black to dark without any like discrepancies. When I first got into black and grey, I was using black and I was using a dark wash, but the dark wash wasn't quite dark enough to come off my black. It looked dark when it was going in, but on the heel there was a definite difference between the black and the dark wash. So a rule of thumb, making sure that your dark wash is able to blend off nicely. Also, top tip when it comes to black and grey, do not have any more than, I would say, 5 ink caps of pigment out of different washes. Let's say an extra light, a light, a medium, a dark, and a black. That's the way I would do it. That it keeps confusion down to a minimum. Now black and grey is all in the way that you dip. You don't need that many ink pots. When it comes to black and grey, just keep it basic. Light, medium, dark, extra light, and a black. And just learn to dip properly. For example, you could have a light and a medium. People look at it that you've only got a light and a medium. You haven't. What you could do is you could run in your light and then dip in your medium. So it's not medium, but it's not light, and you've got like an in-between there. And it's all in the way you dip. So experiment with how you like to dip. I will equally run in my light, equally run in my medium. I will run in my light, dip in my medium. I will do all sorts. I will find my tone by just dipping, okay, and finding what works for you. But it is all in the dip. You really don't need that many pigments out when you can dip in between. From those 5 pots of black and grey, okay, you have those 10 tones there, so there's no need to have them all out. It's a lot easier just to dip, and it's a lot simpler just to dip. Now for me personally, I like Silverback Insta Range, because Silverback's Insta Range comes from 1 to 10 and then you get black. And I've been using this for about 6 years, roughly around about 6 years-ish. The thing I like about it is having a wide range from 1 to 10. I can have a broad horizon of the tones that I want to use that day. Again, I will keep it to 5, but I will change the numbers up. That might come from my mood and how I'm feeling that day, but that also may come from the type of skin I am tattooing. If I am doing Greywash on a dark pigment skin, then I know my extra light is not going to be seen, and it's not going to be there when it's healed, so there's absolutely no point in using it. So what I might do is I might use 3 as my extra light instead of my light, and use 4 or 5 as my light, okay? But it gives you that range to pick from. Now, when it comes to black and grey, it is really important to realise that it is black and grey, not just grey. The importance of black. When it comes to black and grey, the biggest fundamental that you need to know, aside from lining, aside from shading, smooth shading, saturation, black is one of the biggest fundamentals that you need to get over and learn in black and grey. Black keeps your contrast, it keeps the longevity of the tattoo, and it holds the piece together nicely. A lot of clients will probably come to you, you may have already had it, where they want black and grey and they say they want this wishy-washy black and grey, which is really light black and grey, and it's almost watercolor type thing. It's not great, but a lot of people will ask for that, especially girls. Girls like it a lot because they feel like it's more feminine. Yes, it could be a little bit more feminine, but the longevity is not there. It's not going to age well, and it's certainly not going to stand up to like sun damage, for example. So the things that you need to take into consideration with black and grey are tattooing for the heel and not the photo. A lot of people tattoo for the photo and they make it nice and light in the places that it is nice and light, but it's not going to be there once it's healed. So tattooing for the heel and it being there once it is healed is better than tattooing for the picture, for your Instagram likes. The effect that you're wanting from black and grey is to be able to look across a room and still be able to tell what that black and grey piece is, whether it be a portrait or whether it be some type of realism or anything black and grey. You can achieve that with a combination of good black, good medium and good light and good contrast. Always remember that dark black and grey is good black and grey. Do not be afraid of black. Black is your friend. Treat black as a tone, okay? Black will only be black once you pack it in. Pack it in. Us British like to say that to us kids. But black will only be black once you have packed it into the skin. It will not be black if you are just using it as a shade. Obviously it will go black if you keep going over and over and over and over and over, but generally you can use black as a tone. Do not be scared of black. It will not be black, I promise you, until you start packing it in. It's important to realise that irritation plays a big part of you feeling like, holy shit, that is too dark. If you put Greywash on skin and then the skin is going really red, that's going to make your Greywash look a hell of a lot darker. So it's important to get over that fear. Now, to get over that fear, what you need to be doing is you need to be picking a set that you like and sticking to that set, not jumping around the board constantly. You don't know how your washes are going to look until it is healed. Once it's healed, then you'll have a better idea of, yeah, I did that and that's healed well, yeah, I did that, that's that tone, so that's how that tone heals, or that looks good, so I can carry on using that tone. Okay, you get me. You won't have a good idea until you carry on using it. But don't let irritation and it be dark get to you, because it will happen, and it's just it is mad. It's mad, and it will like, it'll scare you. Holy shit, man, that is so dark. It will scare you, but trust in your tones, trust in your wash, and it will heal fine. And if needed, and it's getting so irritated that it is so dark that you cannot tell what your tone is anymore, just leave that area and then come back to it in 45 minutes to an hour's time once it's all settled down and you can see your tones and how they are settling in. But dudes, there's a few tips on black and grey for you. Before I leave, as always, please head over to my tattoo tips playlist. I'll put it up here somewhere for you. Subscribe to the channel, turn on bell notifications, and smash a goddamn like on this goddamn video, because this is the best channel to get your tattoo tips from. As always, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Adios.